How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now on today's show we're going to be talking about Kylian Mbappe because he is going to be missing PSG's Champions League match against Atalanta through injury. We're also going to be talking about Kai Havertz because it looks like he's pushing through a move to Chelsea. And the last piece of news involves Arsenal and their pursuit of Philippe Coutinho and what they need to do to possibly get the signing this summer.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So the first piece of news involves PSG and Kylian Mbappe, and it's not great news for PSG because he's been ruled out for up to a month with ankle ligament damage, and he has been ruled out of their Champions League quarter-final match against Atalanta. He sprained it quite badly in PSG's Coupe de France final win over Saint Etienne. I wouldn't go so much as saying that he sprained it. I'd go so much as saying that the player's tackle meant that he sprained it. But he has been ruled out of the match with the Italian club on August the 12th in Lisbon and is in a race against time to be fit for the semi-final and final if PSG progress. The semi-finals take place 6 days later on August the 18th and a potential final is on August the 23rd. So it's not great news for PSG, and when you look at that tackle, it's one of those that if he's a fraction earlier, he wins the ball cleanly and you're talking about an unbelievable tackle. But when you look at it, how it happened, it's late, very late. And it looked really horrible how his ankle buckled under his trailing leg. And he's actually quite lucky it's not more severe than that. So 3 weeks actually seems not too bad given the extent of what that injury looked like initially. And given the fact that PSG, with all due respect to Atalanta, they'll probably think that they can deal with that game, you know, in comparison to if it was, you know, maybe someone a little bit more difficult. And that's not no disrespect, like I said, to Atalanta. They're probably the one side still left in the Champions League that you would want to face in comparison to the top teams. And PSG should still have enough when you think they got the likes of Neymar, to name but a few, in their squad who can certainly get them through this tie. But if they get past it, that's where the issues lie, because it's not like usual Champions League where you're going to have a few weeks off and then you've got a semi-final and then further time off before a final. They're literally cramming everything in, to this like super competition all in one venue in Lisbon. So yeah, it remains to be seen, and I'd like to see him fit and playing. He's an unbelievable player, and for me, he's going to be the player that takes over the mantle from Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo when they finally, retire. Unbelievable when you think how old he is as well and what he's still got to achieve within his career. The trophies he's won. World Cup winner. Absolutely phenomenal. Wow. Just to think Arsenal were linked with him once, eh? If only that conversation around his parents' house with Arsene Wenger would have gone better. But it is what it is. And we'll wait to see what happens with that one. Next piece of news involves Kai Havertz. And of course, there's been a lot of rumours and talk about him moving to Chelsea. And now Chelsea have confirmed they are in the Champions League by booking their place on the final game of the season. There's reports saying that Kai Havertz is pushing hard for Bayer Leverkusen to agree a deal with Chelsea before the Bundesliga side's Europa League match against Rangers next week. Havertz wants to move to Chelsea and work under Frank Lampard, and only an agreement about the transfer fee is holding up the deal. Leverkusen value Havertz at £90 million. But all parties are hopeful of a £70 million deal, plus add-ons can be done. Champions League qualification means Lampard has more money to spend after signing Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech. Havertz is back in training with Leverkusen as they prepare for their Europa League game against Rangers a week on Thursday, and the 21-year-old would like the deal completed before that game. It will be a busy summer at Stamford Bridge, with Lampard also looking for a new goalkeeper, left back and centre back. Atletico Madrid have no intention of selling Jan Oblak, so any move for him would involve having to pay his £110 million release clause. So yeah, it's very interesting, and Chelsea, they're certainly splashing the cash and they're making up for lost time, being banned from the transfer window, having all that money sitting in the bank from Eden Hazard. And when you look at, Kai Havertz, when you look at Timo Werner, when you look at Ziyech, my word, if they were to add a Jan Oblak to that, oh my word. Even I'd have to hold my hands up and say what a side they would start to build. Jan Oblak for me is right up there. £110 million when you see his performances. Doesn't actually seem like a lot of money, to be honest with you. But yeah, they're going to have to do something, because they wasted a hell of a lot on the likes of Spaghetti Hands, Kepa. And it remains to be seen as to whether he will even play for Chelsea again with the FA Cup final this weekend. But it looks like they're going to stick with Big Willie in goal. And they played him in that final league game against Wolves, Willie Caballero. So it looks like they may well have done that with the cup final in mind. And I'm actually gutted about that, because I wanted Kepa to play, because shoot from about 30 yards out, you're scoring. Because like I said, he's got arms like Rex on Toy Story. So, we'll wait and see what happens in the final anyway. But yeah, Chelsea, they're making moves. They're spending their money, and they're making their intention known that they want to compete and challenge with Manchester City and Liverpool. So very, very interesting. Now, last piece of news involves Arsenal. And again, this is a rumour and a name that's been mentioned a lot over the last few weeks, and it's Philippe Coutinho. But there are two variables that hinge on the deal being completed. Firstly, the Gunners are not in a sensational position financially, and have already asked Coutinho if he'd be willing to take a pay cut to join them. According to Spanish publication Sport, a club must pay Barcelona €20 million or £18 million to loan Coutinho for the season, as well as an additional $10 million to cover his wages. Coutinho wasn't overly keen on the idea of taking a pay cut, but the offer remains on the table, and the Brazilian may at some point concede to compromise to get a move. Arsenal getting a result in their final fixture of the season may also heavily influence Coutinho's decision. The Gunners didn't finish in a strong position in the Premier League and did not qualify for the Europa League, but they can secure a Europa League place if they beat Chelsea in the FA Cup final this weekend. European football would not only appeal to Coutinho, but it would also improve Arsenal's financial situation. And although perhaps still not to the point they could justify paying the Brazilians wages in full, Arsenal have a good relationship with Coutinho's agent, who recently confirmed that his client would like to return to England. It's a very interesting one, and this name gets mentioned a lot. And the interesting part is, of course, Coutinho's agent. Now, he's also David Luiz's agent. He's also Cedric's agent. And he's also the agent of the young lad Fernandes that Arsenal are looking to buy from Sporting. So it seems very evident that Arsenal have this relationship with him. And from what we know, the likes of Edu and Raul Sanelli have a very good relationship with him. So you can see where the links come from. It's very evident that Coutinho wants to get out of Barcelona, come back to the Premier League. And Arsenal could be that move. And what may hinge it is European football. Now, some people will laugh and say it's the Europa League. But it's becoming very evident that a lot of players want to at least be in the Europa League as a minimum. If you're outside of the Champions League, at least be in the Europa. And then you can start to establish and build yourself from there. So it is very important. And winning the final at the weekend seems like it's going to be crucial to what Arsenal end up doing in the summer window. There's also talk about a swap deal with Guendouzi and around about £40 million. if it gets Guendouzi out the door and that problem dealt with, then so be it. You know, get him involved in a swap deal. We know what Coutinho can do in the Premier League. You saw what he was like at Liverpool. He's at a prime age. We need someone in that position that can create and score goals. So no-brainer for me. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. So, there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. Let me know about this Coutinho rumour and what you think. Should we try and get him? Should it be on loan or should we try and do this swap deal with Guendouzi? Very, very interesting. So, of course, this week there's going to be a special podcast with AFTV, the All Guns Blazing, and me and Robbie will be back together in the same room. Oh, it's going to be so much fun, and not stuck behind the screen like we have been for the last 3 months or so doing, you know, the podcast. So watch out for that because it's a cup final special. I'm going to be doing videos and everything else as well this week. The usual DT's Daily preview, predicted lineup for that cup final on Saturday. The watch along from Box Park on Saturday. There'll be player ratings and everything else. And then, of course, after that, I'm going to be doing the season reviews and player reviews and everything else, and possible transfers, possible departures. There's so many. And we've also got DTFC. Now they've got their own YouTube channel. Links are in the description for that. So get over, click the link, subscribe and everything else. There's already videos going out of the training, the pre-season. We have our first match in under 2 weeks' time. There's so much going on and I cannot wait for you to be involved and see what is exactly happening. So if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button on this video and smash a like on here, and I will see you a lot soon. I'm out of here.